Hello and welcome to another edition of In the Box Seat. We're down to two.
Down to two. We're dropping like flies. No, Joycey's overseas in America, and I'm sure he's having a great time not being here. But we're holding down the fort, and another episode.
As he's off for his big vacation over in the US.
Yes,
so,
we're very jealous.
He finished here on Friday night with that meeting on here at the coast. Gold market. Ended up being a bit of a long night.
It was.
Because of the weather.
We can't escape the weather here on the Gold Coast. It just kept coming back, but luckily we were able to push the races back only an hour and continue that meeting. Thankfully, we were very grateful that we could still race after we let the storms pass, but it was a phenomenal view. I think we're going to put some photos up on the screen, but the weather here on the coast, although rainy, it then turned into this beautiful sunstorm at night. It was phenomenal.
It's quite weird, wasn't
having that as your backdrop with the races going, it was pretty amazing.
We ran the first race and then it looked like Armageddon was coming.
You could
there
see
wasn't a lot of rain in it.
No.
But just thunder and lightning, and obviously under the protocols with racing, when there's lightning in the area, they've got to allow at least 15 minutes for the lightning to clear before horses can be in the vicinity. So that was sort of the hold up. But with the state of the art lights, we can push meetings back, and we're able to wrap the meeting up at 10 o'clock, which is still a reasonable hour. So the visuals that we've got on screen are quite amazing, and the time lapses and all the rest of it.
And it was, I think that was like 7 p.m. So to have a sky looking like that at 7 p.m. at night, it was pretty wild.
And you're right, the blue sky was starting to poke through after it all.
It was amazing. And obviously the racing as well. We had the inaugural, not the inaugural, but the Gold Coast Mayor's Vase, which was originally the Gold Coast Cup.
The inaugural name.
The inaugural name, yes, of it. So that was awesome to have Tom Tate here. He was actually here the race before in the mounting yard, and he was very excited with some winning owners. It wasn't even his race yet, and he jumped into a winning celebration. So we asked him afterwards, were you in with the horse? He said, no, I was just excited for them. So great to have Mayor Tom Tate here and getting amongst it with the owners.
It's not often the mayor gets, bear hugged and harassed like he did in the mounting yard, but he was all for it. It was I think it was Texas Fireball won that race.
Yes, it was.
All the owners there. Tony Gollan took another gold market. That's his fifth success in the race.
I think fourth out of five. Or some of the. I brought the stats last week.
You forgot your Miller's Guide this week.
I wasn't as prepared, but I think it's 4 out of 5 gold markets for him and the stable. So
it was a big night for Archer Park. They had Texas Fireball and Golden Boom taking 2 of the races on the card. Been great supporters of the club for a number of years, Archer Park, and do a terrific job with all their horses and team. Queen Air for Tony Gollan. So Tony taking the 2 features on the night. Certainly the race meeting worked.
Yes, absolutely.
Turnover was good, and the gold market was a really good addition. So put that in your calendar going forward. We've found a good home for the gold market, and now the Gold Coast Mayor's Vase. And as we mentioned last week, some exciting things may happen with that program going forward into 2026.
On to the next.
That wraps up the Summer Carnival.
It does.
Done and dusted.
We didn't think we'd make it here, but we've come out the other side, and all things considering, it was a phenomenal Summer Carnival, the biggest one we've ever had before the rescheduled meeting, and now obviously with that rescheduled meeting, it was even bigger. So an amazing carnival. Thanks for everyone who attended, and we're looking forward to on to the next.
Crowd numbers were terrific through the meetings, particularly here at the Gold Coast Turf Club. I think we've unearthed some really good horses going forward to the Winter Carnival, some local talent, which is good to see come through. So again, as we had some interruptions, everyone was still there at the end of the day for the racing, which is what transpired also in that last meeting of the carnival here on Friday night.
And speaking of racing, more to come. The Queensland Jewel Race Day, another great one in the calendar. Packages have just gone on sale to our members. So as you're watching this, members, go and grab those tickets. Obviously, Skyline Gallery as normal, and we'll also this time have the Shandong High Tea in the event centre. So thanks to Shandong for getting on board with that one. So that one will be $210 for our members and $240 per person for the general public. Another great day to get along to.
Yeah,
we know the Queensland racing on that day is phenomenal. So mark your calendars, Saturday, March the 8th. It'll go on sale to the general public tomorrow as you're watching this.
Yeah, February's sort of a little bit quieter on the racing scene in southeast Queensland. Then March, it's the Jewel, and next thing you know, we're into the Winter Carnival. And Hollandale, not far away. And
Yes.
all the good horses are starting to come back at the trials in Sydney and Melbourne. So next thing you know, they're starting to go through their autumn carnival preparations and set sights on the winter carnival. So, but the Jewel is a terrific race meeting just for that cutest bred horse. Of course, they've got the 2- and 3-year-old and then the 4-year-old and up race as well. So every horse is catered for. The Military Rose, it's a terrific program. So looking forward to that in March. One of the highlights coming up in February is that next Twilight meeting, February 8th. We're back on the Poly this week, but a Twilight meeting Saturday, February 8th, back on the course proper. So looking forward to that over the next couple of weeks. The Poly numbers were good this week, 7 races, over 86 entries for the program, and tricky races too.
Speaking of that, let's find a winner.
Yes.
Have you got one?
Here comes Santorini in the first. I think it had some Poly form up at the Sunshine Coast last preparation. Ran a good second first up at Ipswich on the turf. I think that's good enough form to get away with that. Here comes Santorini, where I'd like to holiday, but instead I go to Goulburn.
Well, you've gone race 1.
Yep.
I've gone race 7, so I'm going the last of the day. I'm going Red Wine from the Dunn stable. I love the name, but also some good form. It drops.
Love the song.
I love the song. I was just singing it before
name,
off
love
air.
the drink.
All of the above. It does drop back in class. Looks a good race for it.
Yep.
Just a bit worried about that barrier number, but we'll see how they run.
Red Wine. Easy to remember that one in the last. So race 1, number 4 for me. Race 7, number 2 for Ella. And Luke Coombs. Luke Coombs.
Oh, speaking of the weekend, yes, I went to Luke Combs.
Isn't it?
It is Combs, yeah. You know all about a comb brushing out that hair of yours.
Up to date with all my country music.
And how was your weekend, Mitch?
I didn't go to Luke Combs.
Yeah,
no.
Unfortunately, only the best of us got there. If anyone knows him, they'll know that reference. Anyway, thanks for a great show, guys. We'll close that one out there.
Is that some sort of song?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, good work.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That takes us away. Ella will reminisce about Luke Combs.
Yes, I will.
No, at least I think I've heard of him, unlike some of those others.
Yeah, that one you'll know.
DJ
definitely.
Dip Dollar or whatever it is. Righto, that takes us away from In the Box seat. Oh, it's great to be back, the pair, us two, causing a muck. And we'll be back next week to preview the Twilight meeting coming up at the Gold Coast Turf Club.
Nice.